Hello my fellow going medieval fans and welcome to a video guide about getting the perfect settlers. I'm going to show you how it's achieved right now, but also talk about how it is going to be done in future versions of the game. In my previous videos about min-maxing settlers, I explained what skills are most important, which have no use right now, what kind of perks exist, and which stats to look for when setting up your settlers. Link up here and below. But this time I'm taking you all the way through an hour-long game of dice with the random number generator. Condensed of course, as I respect your time. The goal is to get those perfect starting settlers with the best possible combo of skills and perks. Before we go on that trip however, I first want to discuss with you the previous Monday talk/update that the developers have posted, in which they wrote out and showcased with screenshots and a video on Twitter what the future of settler setup will be like. In the basic customization window, which is also the default one, they have added the options to change the first and last name of characters and or reroll settlers as a whole group. But this is more of a joke, because the real deal is the advanced customization window. Once enabled, it gives you all the options you have been dreaming about since the game launched. You can change absolutely everything about each settler, from their facial hair and body size to skills and perks. There are also two options which I think will have the greatest impact on replayability, but I have noticed there hasn't been a lot of discussion about them: the save and load your settlers options. This means that once you create that Highlander of a settler, you can load him or her up for the next village playthrough and the next, and so on. Later in this video I will talk more about the ramifications and my fears about this addition. On the left side of the new character creation screen you will have the ability to pick everything about the cosmetics, as well as their first and last name, gender and background. The background of characters actually gives you a boost to certain skills depending on what you choose for that settler. For example, a loyal tanner gives a large skill bonus to tailoring because of the tanner background, while the loyal affix gives a small bonus to the melee skill. There are also backgrounds with negative traits. Here's an example of that: a savage army cook. This background comes with two negative traits in the form of a deduction to speechcraft and intellectual skills. You can see that this settler with his 3-word background has 5 skills influenced by traits from the savage army cook background. The more words are in a background, the more skills are affected by positive or negative traits. The pseudonym section is a second layer of bonuses to skills which are not as high as bonuses from a background. Here's an example: the Prodigal of Duns. I have no idea what it means, nor does the explanation tip help with this, but the important thing is that your settler gets a bonus to speechcraft from it. These pseudonyms are ultra rare in the current version of the game, especially good and useful ones, like the Bastard of something with the extra botany skill. But in the future version of the game, you will be able to manually choose one for each character. Over to the right we have the last options for deciding the physique of a character: age, weight and height. These physical traits still have no impact on character capabilities or requirements in the game, only their look. It is the same with characters' religious alignment. But the main point of this new character screen is definitely the ability to manually customize skills and perks. As you can see, each skill gets a plus and minus sign, and there is no trace of any kind of skill pool, meaning maximum level 50 starting skills look possible. On the opposite side, I noticed that in this example, Settler's melee and intellectual skill both have grayed out minus signs, even though melee is not at 0 like intellectual is. Considering that the background of this settler gives him a nominal melee skill level, that could mean that the skills influenced by a character's background cannot be edited below their minimum. Or that is at least how I have interpreted this UI. The thing is that these two concepts put together don't make a whole lot of sense, because why would the developers let you pump skill levels to their maximum in the character creation screen, but then be worried you would go below the minimum and disable that option? To me, this discrepancy means that this isn't the final version of this interface, and that the mechanics of how this will work cannot be completely deduced from the look of the UI. Furthermore, I think that the ability to add an unlimited number of points into skills would make the background and pseudonym mechanics obsolete and useless, so I would like to believe that a skill pool will be implemented in the final version of this advanced character creation mode, because being able to start with 3 or even 10 settlers with all skills at 50 would ruin a big part of the game's replayability value. It is true that this way you would only have 3 to 10 Highlander settlers when starting a village, and all other settlers gained during the playthrough would not be like this. But again, this would make those starting settlers basically royalty, who you would not even want to endanger in combat because they are almost irreplaceable. This would also change the flow of gameplay, and it is not something I would personally like to see happen to the game. This all said, keep in mind that this was only a showcase of the UI for the new character creation window, and certainly not the final working version, so I will reserve my judgment while still sharing my fears with you. As for perks, you can clearly see that you can both add and remove them using the X and plus icons. This means characters with the most desirable perks will be easy to create. A botanist with a green thumb perk who likes to work outside, come rain or hail, is a great settler to have. The maximum number of perks one settler can have seems to be only limited by the size of the UI window for them, if we go by this Twitter video Going Medieval developers posted. Anything above 4 feels like overkill to me, making a settler who is already at Highlander skill level into a character from Dragon Ball anime. Now, before I go into the second part of the video with how to roll until you get those perfect settlers, please consider liking this video if you have been enjoying it and comment about what is the highest number of settlers you ever had in your villages. Also subscribe if you haven't already to see more videos like this one in the future. Some time ago, I spent a whole hour to roll and re-roll these 3 characters until I had what I think of as perfect settlers. The idea was to get 3 settlers with certain stats and perks which would work together, making each individual settler specialized in a few jobs with high starting skills and lots of learning potential. These settlers would also have a highly optimized combination of skills, so they would work on something during each season of the year and never be stuck doing something they don't enjoy. This would give them that really positive mood modifier called job satisfaction. So let's follow my line of thought and reasoning as I discard hundreds of settlers applicants while searching for those perfect ones. As we can see, the first settler I get has a green thumb perk, which is an amazing find because of the bonuses, but this settler's best skill is construction, as his background is that of a tireless builder. Even worse, he is passionate about, meaning he learns faster, totally irrelevant skills to this background: intellectual, medicine, melee, smithing and speechcraft, which in the current version of the game has no use. It will once traders become part of the game, and I will cover that in depth in a future video. So 7 stars in total, marking passionate learning of skills, are the maximum basically, but they are all on the wrong skills. It's the same with the other 2 settlers, so let's get to rolling the dice. The next settler I get is a soothsaying shipwright, if I'm not mistaken, with even a pseudonym of the Bride of Sway something. Wait, bride, but he's a male? Okay, never mind. His perk austere reduces his appetite, but increases the time it takes him to eat. Considering how little time it takes to eat, but how long it takes to get hungry enough to need to eat, this is a fantastic positive trade-off. His second perk, Punch Drunk, is not of high importance, in this version of the game anyway. His tailoring is at 12, which is not bad, but with no stars for passionate learning, it's not useful in the long run. The smithing skill with very passionate learning is great even with a low starting skill. Construction at 21 is really good for starting a new village, and it doesn't even have to have stars at that level. It will help you immeasurably with the first construction efforts and can later be removed from his job list once another settler masters the skill through passionate learning. Botany is a waste of skill points here, as well as carpentry and intellectual. A bit of culinary, marksmanship and medicine is useful, but melee on top is a waste of skill points and a star. Mining is useful, and the settler has 1 star on it. Basically, the application of the settler would be to build the first buildings, dig the first underground rooms, make some clothing, ferment a few beers, fight off the first waves of raiders and heal wounds. Then he would hunt a few animals to reach level 10 marksmanship and equip a longbow or crossbow, after which he would smelt metals and smith weapons and armors until level 50 with occasional hunting trips and mining jobs. This is a very good job distribution, but with low levels of useful skills, very few stars for learning faster, and practically none of the best perks. I would start a village with this character, but he is nowhere near a perfect one. Let's try our luck with the second one. Low skills and stars, same thing again. This looks interesting, but beyond hunting and fighting, no use. Everything and nothing. Next. An avant-garde tanner. Major basic tailoring skills as explained previously during this video. Stars on smithing and mining with low skill level, capable with medicine and marksman, so not defenseless, can learn to cook, build and deal with animals. The perks are once again a disappointment, with hot-blooded and congenial. The second one is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best. So in conclusion, this is a character who would go around the village mining, healing, hunting, learning to build, smith and cook, while jump-starting clothing production in the village. Once again good, but not perfect. Third time's the charm, right? This one has the perk wise, but with no stars on the intellectual skill, it's not useful. High speechcraft, hard pass. Animal handling, the same. Bad combo skills, cannibal, no thank you. Oh, a wicked chef. She has an iron stomach, so she eats fast. And she's a ray of sunshine. A waste of a perk slot. High smith with learning, low medicine with high learning potential, low intellect with a star, a really good cook like the background told us, and a future capable builder. Too bad about all the wasted skill levels at botany. So while a good cook with a high potential in building and even research and smithing, this is just an okay character at best. Now that I hope you understand what we are looking for here, let's fast forward to much more capable settlers. Jaquetta Payne. It pains me to try to pronounce all these names in Going Medieval. By the way, Jakarta, any relation to Max Payne? No? Alright. Oh boy, that was an amazing game. The sequel too. But anyway, back to the point of perfect settlers. Mrs. Payne over here is a hopeful Lorimer? Oh, I give up. Please somebody tell me in the comments how these things are pronounced. She also has a pseudonym. The background gives her a massive smithing skill bonus as well as a few levels to medicine. Being a bastard of something gets her a small bonus to botany. But the main point of this character is the medium skill level in intellectual, with a high passion for learning that skill coupled with the erudite perk. This is as perfect a combo as you can get, at least after spending an hour having a contest of stubbornness with the random number generator hiding behind this character creation window. I'm sure you could do better, but I would say an hour is enough time spent. The cumulative XP gain bonus would get you very fast research and help you develop your village's tech really early on. Mrs. Payne would also be able to smith good weapons and armor and learn to craft even better ones fast. The benefit of those I have explained in depth in one of my previous guides called Weapons and Armor Breakdown. She also has a medium skill level at medicine and can learn it fast. She's not defenseless with a melee skill of 9 and has some skills in construction and cooking. As mentioned before, she even has some potential in botany, meaning after you reach the end of the tech tree, you can switch to a botany smithing combo. Smith during winter, plant during spring and harvest during summer and autumn. The other two perks are not really good or useful, early bird and vulnerable, but they are not debilitating, which is what matters the most. The 7 skills wasted in speechcraft and carpentry and 8 in animal handling are a big annoyance, but as I said before, there is a drop-off point where investing more time into rolling characters starts to give diminishing returns. Another hour to get a few skill levels better distributed is not worth it. The chase for perfection is a never-ending one, and while this video is called Perfect Settlers, this is the reason for that question mark at the end. It also carries a double meaning because of the future system of character creation which I talked about in the first part of this video, and its potential to manually create the perfect settlers. Let's see the other two now. Sangwe Heart. This game is killing me. I sound like Police Chief Wiggum from Simpsons to myself. She is a tireless brewster, which gives her a bonus of 12 skill levels to culinary, 10 to botany, and 5 to carpentry. Her perk is congenial, so it's easier to get her to be happy, which leads to her working faster. On top of that, the other perk is industrious, so by default, she has a 10% bonus to global work speed. These two combined mean she can be considerably faster at her jobs than other settlers. Mrs. Hart has a high cooking skill and is even very passionate about learning it. She can also learn construction and carpentry a bit more slowly, and she has a high botany skill useful for planting and harvesting food and other plants. She can even learn to mine and tailor, but she has low skill levels on those. This all means that this settler will be the primary butcher, cook and brewer in the village, who will also help out with farming, building and mining. While in her spare time during winter, she can craft some wooden weaponry and tailor clothing or simpler armor. This is a fantastic distribution of jobs both during a single day and all year round. So what about the third member of this supposed perfect little settler group? Well, Harold Medicine, who not only has a name and even last name I can pronounce, for which I am forever grateful to him, has quite a mix of high and low skill levels. Medium skill levels at smithing, mining and most importantly botany, about which he is even very passionate, so he will get to level 50 in a decade or so. The perk which puts him into the almost perfect group is Green Thumb, which is exceedingly hard to get with a high botany skill, let alone 2 stars on that skill. Not only does it add to the botany skill level, Green Thumb perk increases the amount this character harvests and reduces the chance for him to fail in doing so. Sunseeker perk is basically cherry on top, as he will be happily working outside in the sun while farming, which is going to be his main job anyway. His background is called a Wicked Franklin, which doesn't really fit a farmer, more a miner and smith, but this makes him more flexible. When not farming and during winter, he can dig underground rooms or passageways, smith arms and armor, and even help out with research. He is the one character who is the farthest from perfect out of these 3, but as I said before, the combo of a Green Thumb perk with high botany skill and fast learning is too rare to be picky about. I'm going to start a new playthrough with these 3 settlers, but I will leave it up to you to choose what kind of a village I should create down in the comments. A new underground one, on one level or many different levels, a village contained in a single castle building, one with individual homes and communal buildings, or something entirely new. I do have another player construction showcase episode coming up, so that one might give you totally new ideas you would like me to use. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all happy gaming.